Good morning, students. Today, in this lecture, we will discuss about the amplitude modulations in DSP-SC double sideband suppressed carrier and double sideband with carrier. So, we will see the amplitude modulations classification. So, before starting our amplitude modulation, there is a very brief description of our communication system. When we are doing the modulation in communication system, what we have to keep in mind. So first of all, we have a information source, transmitter, channel and receiver. So first of all, the modulation will be done at the transmitter sections. And we have to need the modulation because if we want to transmit our signals to a longer distances, okay. So when we want to transmit our signals to a longer distances, we require a modulation. So modulation system is basically a superimpose your low frequency signals into the higher frequency signals. So here why we are talking as a low frequency signals, because our information or messages are generally in low frequency ranges, and if we directly transmit these signals, so what will happen here, it will not transmit it to a longer distances. So transmit our information to a longer distances, we required the modulation. So first of all, we will take the amplitude modulation and what is the basic features of our amplitude modulation. So if you are talking about the amplitude modulation, so in this type of modulation, your information or message signal is transmitted over a carrier wave, and what will happen here? The properties of carrier wave is vary according to the change in amplitude of your modulating signal. Means if we superimpose your information to the carrier wave, property of carrier will be changed. So if we are talking about the amplitude modulation, so what type of property will change? Amplitude of your carrier wave change according to the modulating signals. So this is the basic method through which we can run the amplitude modulation. Now we will again describe the spectrum of our signal. So this is a sinusoidal wave, which we have to call it as a message signal, and this signal is at the low frequency signals. And we have to see that this is the carrier signals, very high frequency signals. So now what will happen here? We will superimpose this signal on carrier signals, and by superimposing these signals into the carrier signals, we will receive this type of modulated signals. So now what will happen? The, you will you see here that second waveforms, amplitude of our carrier wave is not changing, it is a constant throughout the with respect to time. But as we superimpose our modulating signals into the carrier signals, the amplitude of our carrier signals will be changed according to the modulating signal. So this is the amplitude modulation, and this type of modulation is used in our radio broadcasting system. So we will see here AC. What about the AC and AM? So AC is the maximum amplitude of our carrier signals, and AM is the maximum amplitude of our message signal or modulating signals. So when we superimpose our signals onto the carrier, so what will be the resulting equations? So resulting equations will be AC plus AM sin omega mt sin omega ct. So this is the final equation, final amplitude modulated signals equation. Now we will again classify these equations into the two parts. So first of all, we will see if you are representing your equations in terms of modulation index. So what about the modulation index? So modulation index is the ratio of amplitude, maximum amplitude of your modulating signal to the maximum amplitude of carrier. Means AM upon AC, that is the modulation index, and this is also called as a depth of modulation. So generally, if we are talking about the value of our modulation index, so it will vary between 0 to 1. Means value of modulation index should be greater than 0 and less than 1. So this is the perfect modulation in amplitude modulation system. Now we will see the amplitude spectrum. So first of all, we are taking the carrier signals, and now this carrier signals you will superimpose your modulating signals. So now what will happen in this carrier? There may be we receive the two side bands in both side of the carrier signals. So apart from the FC, FM, after FM frequency, so that is the FC plus FM, this is the upper side band, and FC minus FM, there is the lower side band. So after modulation, okay, this is the unmodulated carrier signals, and when we have done the modulation, so now what will happen? There may be two side bands generated, and what is the accurate position of these two side bands? These two side bands is the FM frequency from the upper side and lower side. So that is equal to FC minus FM upper side band, and FC plus FM, FC minus FM, that is the lower side band, and FC plus FM, that is the upper side band. So this is the complete sideband spectrum of our modulated signals, and our information or signal will be remain in the sidebands. Okay, so this is the basic amplitude spectrum, and according to that spectrum, we will see that in the process of amplitude modulation, there are two types of signals. First one is the carrier signals, and two sidebands are generated. So modulated wave has the information only in sidebands, as I have told you. So sideband is nothing but this is basically a band of frequencies, and these band of frequencies will containing the power, which are lower and higher frequencies of the carrier frequency. So transmission of a signal which contain a carrier along with two sidebands can be termed as a double sideband full carrier. Means if when you are transmitting your signals and you are transmitted carrier along with your sideband, so in that duration, that type of modulation is called as a double sideband with full carrier. So that is called as a DSB FC. So that is the full carrier. So you can see here position of a carrier, and this is the upper side band and this is the lower side band. So these, if all three are transmitted simultaneously, so this type of modulation is the double side band with carrier. Now what will happen? Such a transmission is inefficient. Why it is inefficient? Because 2/3 of power is wasted in the carrier. So if we are talking about the distribution of power, so we have seen that 2/3 amount of power will be carried by the carrier, and only 1/3 of power is distributed in our sideband, which will carry the information. So we can see here that there are large wastage of our power. So this transmission system is not much efficient. So if carrier is suppressed, suppose we have to suppress the carrier because our information is only in the sideband, so we can suppress the carrier and save power is distributed to the two bands. So in this way we can save the power. But so this type of modulation is called as a double sideband suppressed carrier system. But this type of modulation system, you have to again generate the carrier at the receiver section. So now one by one we will see how we can see what is the transmission method by using the DSB SC. So first of all we will see SC, means you have to suppress the carrier. So we can see here position of a carrier will be suppressed on the lower sideband, and upper sideband will be transmitted through transmission system. So these are the upper sideband, lower sideband, plus FM, FC minus FM, and this is the carrier signals. So here these signals will be fixed. So what about the basic? If we are talking about the mathematical expression, so there is a AM cos omega mt or cos 2 pi fmt. So that is the modulating signals. If we are talking about a carrier signal, so that is equal to AC cos 2 pi fct. So that is the carrier signals. So basically, the equation of DSB SC signal is the product of two signals, MT into CT. So AM AC, so we can product of these two signals, that is equal to AM AC cos 2 pi fmt or cos 2 pi fct. Now we will again calculate, this is the product of signals, so you can put the basic equations cos C and cos D equations. So according to that you will get this type of equations. AM AC by 2 cos 2 pi FC plus FM and FC minus FM means there are two sidebands, maximum and minimum frequency, FC plus FM and FC minus FM. So if you are talking about the bandwidth, so that is the maximum frequency and minimum frequency of the DSB SC transmitted signals. If you want to calculate the bandwidth, so there is a difference between F maxima minus F minima, so that is equal to 2FF. So bandwidth of amplitude modulated signals will be 2FF. Now here we will see the bandwidth that is equal to twice of the modulating signal frequency. Now we have to calculate the power. Means we have to see that DSB SC signals, there are two types of sideband. So according to that, we will again take the final equations. Now what will happen here? DSB SC wave is equal to the sum of power of upper sideband and lower sideband. Okay. So what about the PT? Total transmitted power PT, that is equal to the power consumed in the upper sideband and power consumed in the lower sideband. So that is equal to, and P power, that is equal to V RMS square by 2. So what is the value of RMS value of V? That is equal to Vm by root 2. So according to that, we can calculate the power. So that is equal to AM square AC square divided by 8R. So that is the final power in the upper sideband power. Same power will be included in the lower sideband power. So what will be the total power? Total power equal to PT AM square AC upon 4R. So this is the total power which is required for transmitting the DSB SC wave. So we can calculate the power. So here we can also calculate the power in lower sideband. We can also calculate the power in the upper sideband. So both powers are added, then we can calculate the total power of that system. Now we will discuss about the modulation index. So what is the modulation index? So we have to see that modulation index, that is equal to AM by AC. But there is a slight variations. If we want to if we have to know the maximum value and minimum value of our signals, so according to that, how we can calculate the modulation index? So in this diagram, we can see that maximum value of modulating signal, that is equal to A max and A min. Okay. So now how you can calculate your modulation index in terms of AM? So AM, that is equal to M times of EM or M times of AC. What about the AC? AC is the amplitude of our carrier signals. So according to that, for 100% modulation system, M is equal to 1. So we can see here what is the basically A minimum. That is the basically A minimum value, and AC. AC is the maximum amplitude of our carrier, and A max is the peak value of our modulated signal with respect to the reference. So we are calculating the value with respect to reference signals. So AC 1 plus MT cos omega CT. So there is a basic equation M, that is equal to A max minus A min upon A max plus A min. So that is the basic equation of our modulation index. Now we will again focus to the modulation and coherent demodulation system of DSB SC. Since we have to know that we have to suppress the carrier at the transmitter section. So now what will happen here? You have to again generate the carrier signal at the receiver section. Okay, because it is necessary for extracting the information signal. So now suppose you have to, this is the normal modulating signals, this is the spectrum, this is the normal modulated signal, this is the spectrum of that. So now what will happen? When you want to demodulate your signals, you have to again multiply with the carrier signals. So when you multiply with the carrier signals, then you can extract your message signals of modulating signals. So according to that, there is a frequency. This is the normal frequency spectrum. This is the spectrum at the high amplitude A. You can see there is a two sideband, lower sideband and upper sideband, and information there. So you can see the spectrum pattern, A by 4 and A by 2. Half the amplitude, again half after that. So that is a basically demodulation. For demodulation, we again multiply our carrier signals and then we can pass it through the low pass filter, and we can record our wanted signals by using a modulation system. Again, coherent demodulation. If we are talking about the coherent demodulation, means you have to again multiply the same carrier frequency, and when you multiply the carrier frequency, the final equation will be mt cos square omega ct, and we can also write the cos square omega ct in terms of 1 plus cos 2 omega ct. So you can write here the value of this, and you can take the product of this. We will find the final value of these equations. If we are passing through the signal through a low pass filter, we can extract the half of m omega. So that is basically output signal as 0, that is equal to half of md. So Fourier transform values in terms of frequency respect. Building AM demodulator. So what type of demodulators we are working on the amplitude modulation system? First of all, coherent. Another one is non-coherent. So what about the coherent and non-coherent? Basically, when we are talking about the coherent means you have to again generate the same carrier frequency at the receiver part. So now what will happen? This is your final signal mt cos omega ct, and you have to multiply by the cos omega ct. So now here that will be the product of this, and after passing through the low pass filter, we can extract our modulating signal. So this is the terms when we can done the demodulation. So demodulation is basically you have to extract your information signals from your carrier signal. So this is the process through which we can extract our modulating signals from the carrier signal or modulated signals. So that process is called as a demodulation. If you are talking about the non-coherent modulation, means you have to again not multiply your same phase frequency with the resultant signals. So what you have to done, you have to opt the non-coherent techniques. And what about the non-coherent technique? Squaring the loop and envelope detector. So these two are the methods of AM demodulator which we have to use for non-coherent modulation technique. And in coherent technique, we have to again multiply the carrier signals with the modulated signals. What about the AM demodulator? So AM demodulator or envelope detector. So that is basically a demodulation techniques for non-coherent system. So we will again see the how we can demodulate our signals and what is the method of non-coherent demodulation. So that is basically the diode acts as a non-linear mixer. So that is diode is work as a mixer and there is a RC component. Okay, so diode is work as a modulator here. So this is generally named called as a diode detector. So what will happen here? This is the basically based on the conduction and non-conduction phenomena of our diode. So when in positive half cycles, what will happen here? Diode will conduct, and after conducting the diode, our capacitor will be charged. Okay, so there is a slightly our capacitor will be charged, and it will be charged up to the maximum peak value of our modulating signals. Now, as our signals will be decreases from maximum signals, what will happen here? The diode will be reverse biased, and this capacitor will be discharged through this resistance R. Okay, so are you know this? What will happen here? This capacitor C will now discharges through this resistance R, and we will get the modulating signal across the resistance R. So what will happen here? After charging, it will be discharges, and this slope we will receive. And when these voltage is again higher than the instantaneous value of your modulating signal, so it will again charges to the peak value of VL. And after then, as our signals will be changes and reverse polarity occurs, it will again discharges. So this is the charging and discharging pattern of our modulating signals. And according to this, we can extract this envelope from our modulated signals, and this envelope is our modulating signals. So by using the charging and discharging pattern of our capacitor, we can extract our signals in non-coherent demodulator. So there is no need to again generate the same phase and frequency carrier signals for getting the message signal or modulating signals, because to generate the same phase and same frequency signals at the receiver, it is also a very tough task. Okay, and due to these complicated circuitry, because when we want to generate the same phase and same frequency signals at the receiver section, there is a your circuit may be much complicated and more costly, and for removing this purpose we have to work out on the envelope detector method. But there is we cannot receive the complete smooth signals, so we can slightly receive the signals of zigzag fashion. So by applying the filter, low pass filter, we can smoothly filter out our this type of ripples, and after then we can receive the smooth sinusoidal waveforms of our modulating signal. So this is a basic method, basic demodulators, which we are using in our amplitude modulation system. So basically these are AM frequencies hai, so that is basically range, there will be frequency 298, 300 and 302 kilohertz. So basic operations frequency ranges are this one. Now we will see this part, but we have to show you charging, discharging, charging, discharging. So this type of waveforms we will receive at the output. So there is slightly a ripples, and then after applying the filter, we can easily remove the ripples. So what is the basically value of your R and C component when we are designing a envelope detector method? So it will be greater than the bandwidth of modulating signals and less than the frequency of your carrier signal. So that is the frequency range in which we can work out our envelope detector method, and we have to apply the value of R and C such that it will maintain the this type of conditions for proper working. Now we will see the single sideband amplitude modulation. So at present we are seeing the double sideband system, because there are two types of system. First one we have to told double sideband suppressed carrier. So presently we have seen the double sideband suppressed carrier. Okay, in this type of modulation system, we suppress the carrier at the transmitter sections, and at the receiver we again generate that particular carrier. So this is the DSB SC. Now what about the single sideband AM transmission? So that is very slightly if you reduce the one sideband, because single sideband means you are using only a one sideband for transmission of our signals, because we have to see that our complete information is stored in both the sidebands. So that complete information is same information is contained in SSB, and that is basically SSB. So what type of SSB? LSB and USB. So what type of information is in LSB? Same information is contained in the USB. So there is no need to transmit both the sideband. There is only single sideband can carry the sufficient information from one place to another place. But now what will happens if you want to transmit both the sidebands? So just you can see here, this is a basic equations. There is a Hilbert transform, and after converting the phase shift of 190 degree, it will convert your signals, because the final equation is mt cos omega ct minus plus mt sin omega ct. So there is a cos omega ct and sin omega ct, and AC is the carrier signal. So this is the Hilbert transform which we are working. So what is the basic role of Hilbert transform? If you are applying the Hilbert transform, it will convert 90-degree phase shifting all the frequency spectrum. Suppose you have applying the modulating signals, so every frequency of your modulating signals will be shifted to the 90-degree. Okay, so it will provide the 90-degree phase shifting in our Hilbert transform transformer. So this is a basically used in our single sideband transmission system, and this is the MT modulating signals, M cap T, cos omega ct and sin omega ct. So same cos omega ct to sin omega ct signals can be generated by help of Hilbert transform. Now what is the frequency spectrum? As we have to also see in our double sideband frequency spectrum, so there are two sidebands, upper and lower. But if we are talking about the SSB, so there is again a two sideband, but we have to completely remove the one sideband, and we will take part in communication only with one sideband, either LSB or USB. So that is the basic equations, and when you again multiply the same signals, so what will happen here? You can extract your modulating signals by using this formula. So that is the basic method how we can use the SSB, single sideband amplitude modulation system. So I think it will be clear to you. Now we will compare what is the difference between the double sideband with carrier and double sideband suppressed carrier. So before starting the difference between this, we will again slightly revise single sideband. So what about the single sideband? In single sideband transmission, either upper sideband will be used or lower sideband will be used. Okay, so in single sideband, you can take the on any one of your both sidebands, because all same information is contained in the both the sideband. So you can opt the only one sideband for communication purpose. So this is our the SSB transmissions, and we can reduce also the large amount of frequency spectrum. Now there is a basic method also. So what about the basic method? How you can generate? Okay, so there is a generation method. So if you want to generate your SSB signals, so this is the basic equation of SSB signals: modulating signals cos omega ct. Okay, m cap t sin omega ct. So there is a basically carrier signals. Now what will happens in this place? You can generate, and this type of generation is called as a quadrature AM. Okay, so here two types of carrier signals we are generated: cos omega ct and sin omega ct. And according to that, we will done our modulation system. So you have to know how these are working. So after applying the Hilbert transform, your all spectrum, okay, of modulating signals will be shifted. So this is a frequency spectrum of our SSB AM. Now what will happen here? This is the only either upper sideband or lower sideband can be transmitted. Not we are take part in the both the sideband. Only one sideband can take the all informations. Okay. What about the standard or ordinary amplitude modulation? In initial slides, we have seen about the DSB SC. Means you have to remove the carrier signals, and you are only working on the sidebands. But so same thing is here. If you are talking about the ordinary amplitude modulation, any general language, if you are working or if you are talking about the amplitude modulation, means that is the with carrier amplitude modulation, not without carrier. So this is the fact. So you will add the cos omega ct plus into the product of anti cos omega ct, and after that we will see there is a cos omega ct plus anti cos omega ct. So this is the modulating signals, and these are the signals, and these high power carrier signals will be transmitted simultaneously with respect to the modulating signals in amplitude modulation system. So you can see here with carrier system, you have to also transmit the A cos omega ct signals with the what type of signals you are working on. So this is a method. Instead of suppressing the carrier, we will use the carrier with respect to our communication system. So that is a, you can see A cos omega ct, empty cos omega ct. That is the final equation. Uh, this is a spectrum pattern. If you to solve it, omega plus omega c and omega plus omega m. This is the two type of spectrum that is basically ordinary generated. Now there is a certain disadvantage. So what type of disadvantage we are facing? So we will see here high cost receiver, because if you are talking about the DSB SC, means you have to suppress the carrier. So now what will happen? At the receiver sections, you have to again generate the carrier signals, and by generating this type of carrier signals, it will be cost of this is very high. So for reducing the cost, we have to opt the DSB plus C. Okay, because if you are transmitting the carrier signal with the modulating signals, there is no need to generate again the carrier at the receiver section. So this is the final method and disadvantage of that particular. In AM system, transmit a large power carrier wave, okay, a cos omega ct along with the modulated signals, but empty cos omega ct, so that there is no need to generate a carrier at the receiver. So you have to again pay if you are want to generate the carrier signal. So it is a very simple task which is given to you. In a broadcast system, transmitter is associated with a large number of low cost receivers. Okay, so the AM system is therefore preferred for this type of applications. So basic purpose is, if you are opting the amplitude modulation with carrier, so there is no need to generate the carrier at the receiver sections, and we will simply design our receiver part. Means you can opt the, or you can receive the low cost receiver, because if we are talking about the broadcasting system, there is a single transmitting antenna and multiple receiving antenna. So if cost of multiple receiving antenna is very high, so it is not useful for us. So first of all, the cost of receiver which is used in the receiver side, it will be the very low in DSB plus C. But if we are talking about the DSB SC, due to generation of high carrier signals, it will be very high. And this high type of receiver section will not be used by the ordinary public. So that there is our tendency, we have to reduce the cost of receiver. And for this, we are using the DSB plus C. So because this is the process, by using that, we can reduce our cost of antenna. Now we will focus on the super heterodyne receiver. So basically it is a very normal receiver, and we can see this receiver in initial days in radio broadcasting system. So super heterodyne is basically process of designing and constructing wireless communication. Okay, so that is basically very close to the wireless communication. By mixing two frequencies together in order to produce a difference frequency component called as an intermediate frequency. So sometimes we are not working to the low frequency and very high frequency carrier signals. So apart from that, we are working on any intermediate frequency, and that intermediate frequency is the IF frequency. Now, super heterodyne receiver usually consists of, so what type of components we have to require? So generally antenna, amplifier, mixer, local oscillator, IF amplifier, detector, and AF amplifier, and a speaker also. So this is the basics components which we have to require for making the super heterodyne receiver. Working is explained, so we have to you have to see this diagram. What will happen? There is a receiver. You can see a receiver. You will receiving your signals, and after receiving your signals, these signals will be passed through the RF amplifier, and perfect matching is done in this RF amplifier. After passing through RF amplifier, it will be passes through the mixer, and after mixing some local oscillator frequency in the mixer, you will again passes your signals through the IF amplifier, and after then the detection. So what about the detection? Detection is basically a demodulator. After then we have processed these into the AF, audio frequency amplifier, and this is the speaker. So that is a very basic block diagram of our super heterodyne receiver. Now one by one we will discuss our terms. So that is RF carrier wave, amplified carrier, IF carrier, amplitude IF carrier. What about the amplitude? And this is the final analog signals. Now we will see the super heterodyne receiver. The incoming signal through the antenna is filtered to reject the image frequency. So there is again a problem of image signals. Okay, and now we want to remove that particular image signals. What we have to done? सबसे पहले we have amplified by RF amplifier. So amplifications work will be done. RF amplifier can be tuned to select and amplify a particular frequency. Okay, so if RF amplifier is select a particular frequency for amplification, so it is used by the all other person. The carrier or received signal is called the radio frequency. Carrier से हमारे its frequency is the radio frequency and the local oscillator frequency is FOSC. So that is a basically frequency of particular area. So amplified RF frequencies then mixed. So what will happen? You have to done. So in this receiver sections, your amplified RF amplifier is mixed with the local oscillator frequency. Now in super heterodyne receiver, incoming signal through the antenna is fitted to the reject the image frequency. Okay. So there is image frequency and what type of differences we are maintaining between these two frequencies. Same difference will be maintained by the image signal. So RF amplifier can be tuned. So if we are done the tuning at the transmitter side, what will happen? Only selected frequency will be used and it will be amplified. On the selected frequency and its two sidebands are allowed to pass. Means only two sidebands are allowed to pass through this system. Now carrier of received signal. So what about the carrier of received signal is the radio frequency carrier and its frequencies are F, RF and local oscillator frequencies F, O, L, O, C. So that is a basically system. OSC, oscillator frequency, intermediate frequency. So we will use this. Now what will happen? Combining of these two signals is done at the mixer. So you have to done at the mixer, which produces again some and differences of signals. So always there may be some and different signals. So the sum frequency FOSC plus FRF is rejected by the filter and remaining difference frequency FOSC minus FRF signal is the down converted signals. Means what will happen here? You have a local oscillator frequency and you have a RF signals that will be selected from the RF amplifier. So now what will happen? You after in mixer there is a produces sum and difference of frequency. So that is the FOSC, FRF and FOSC minus FRF. So that is the sum and difference of that frequency. So now what will happen is only some frequency is rejected by the filter, only difference frequency we will select it because this is our requirement and this difference frequency is called as a intermediate frequency. The frequency of local oscillator is not same as frequency to which RF amplifier is tuned. So there is also a problem. All times we have not getting the same frequency signals. Local oscillator is tuned to a frequency that may be either higher or lower. So that is also what is the role of local oscillator. So it is basically tuned to a frequency higher and lower of incoming frequency. So there is also intermediate frequency. Idea of super heterodyne receiver is reduce the high frequency radio components of the incoming carrier. So we will see agar fixed value of proceed at the different stages of the receiver. So by using this, we can provide the good stability, gain and poor selectivity and fidelity. Okay. So modulation of IF carrier signal is the same. So how we can done the modulation? So modulation process is same as that the original carrier signals and it has a fixed frequency. So what is the frequency of IF? So that is the 455 kilohertz. This is the ordinary frequency. And IF signal is amplified. So there is all things is working in the IF amplifier and value of IF amplifier is fixed. So there is no much annoying when the frequency are changes. Now our next is mixing. After passing through the mixer, what will happen? So, amplifier operations are independent of frequency, so we are not depend on the frequency and in which receiver is tuned. So it is a very good feature of this DSB plus C system, and it is maintain the selectivity and sensitivity of the super heterodyne receiver. So it is not a problem. The selectivity and sensitivity of super heterodyne receiver is very good. The amplified IF signal. So what type of IF signals we have to receive? It is amplified to the detector and detect the information signal component, and that is a 455 kilohertz. So this is the image signal. So generally, after some one two slides, we will discuss about the. So detector stage eliminates one of the sideband which is not presently used. Okay, so always we have to use the present scenario. Now, what about the RF component is filtered out and audio is supplied to the audio stage. So what about the RF? RF is basically providing the radio frequency signals only. It rejects the all other types of frequency signals. And after generating the audio signal is applied to the AF amplifier to increase the audio frequency levels and to provide the enough gain for driving the speaker or headphone. Speaker is now connected to the AF amplifier to play the audio information signal. So sometimes our speaker is also play a role. An important part of super heterodyne receiver, automatic gain control is provided in this RF amplifier. Now, what about the super heterodyne radio receiver? In spite of being more complicated than some of the other receivers, so it will offer advantage. So basically, if we are talking, in spite of being more complicated, after then it is a very simple for in operation purpose. So first of all, what is the advantage of our system? There we are not working on the, we are working on the DSB plus C. So it is more efficiently able to remove. So if we are giving the strong background to our receiver part, so now what will happen, it is more efficiently remove the unwanted and distorting signals from the original signals due to the enormous advantage provided by the super heterodyne receivers compared to the other radio receivers. So they are widely used in all broadcast system, radio system. Okay, so that is the basically advantage of our super heterodyne receiver. There is again a problem of image signals. If that signal, what type of signals we want to transmit are lying in the frequency spectrum, and that particular stage, that particular frequency at the negative side, if anyone is try to see that particular part, so what will happen, so that image, okay, so that image may be rejected. So why that image is rejected? Because difference of that image from 445 kilohertz to same. So if same distance, we cannot remove the our image signals. So for removing it, first of all, it is passes through the RF amplifier. So after passing through the amplifier, our signal may be recovered. So if we are talking about the image signals, okay, so image signal is, it is a wanted signal, it is a image signal. So this is unwanted signals, but if this signal is included, our detection will be fault. So for removing this, we are using only the wanted signals. And after then, our amplitude modulators or response. So what about the amplitude response? So that is a basically in amplitude modulation. This is the response, and there is a frequency difference is equal. So that is the image signals, and it is not a good for our super heterodyne receivers. We have to also try to remove our image signals. So after this, we will focus on some objective questions. The ratio between the modulating signals and voltage. So what is the name of this ratio between the modulating signal voltage and carrier voltage? So what we have to told. What is the percentage of modulations? So you can calculate. So what is the basic definition of our modulation index? Modulation index, that is equal to Vm by Vc. And if you have to given the amplitude of these quantity, you can calculate it. What does over modulation? What is the particular condition of over modulation? So in ordinary modulation, so when M is modulating signal voltage is very high with respect to carrier voltage. So at that particular things, that will be the over modulation. So what about the modulation index value? Vm max is this and Vmin is 1.2 volts. So that is the give you have to given the value and you can calculate it by your formula. Second question is what is the maximum modulating voltage if the maximum and minimum voltage on the wave was observed? We have to see the maximum and minimum. So Vmin or Vmax, then we can also calculate the modulation index. So what about the disadvantage of using the synchronous detection of AM? So we can also write this things. Function of frequency mixer in super heterodyne receiver. So it is basically what about the function of frequency mixer in super heterodyne receiver? Standard value of intermediate frequency. So that is basically 455 kilohertz. This is the standard value which we are presently also using in our AM transmitter. Bandwidth, so how you can calculate the bandwidth? So that is a 2 omega m, omega c plus omega m minus this one. So that is a basic bandwidth of our frequency. So what about the advantage of using the RF amplifier? So there is a better selectivity. Okay, because why about the better selectivity you have to require? Because when our signals are coming, it will be distorted. Okay, so what you have to done? We have to filter out the actual content of from our system. So what we apply here RF amplifier, and in RF amplifier is a tendency to it will reject all the unwanted signals, and after that there is only a wanted signals, and due to this there is false imaging it will be avoided by using this. So this is our last question. So I think you will be very comfortable with amplitude modulation with double sideband suppressed carrier and with double sideband carrier. So if you are opting the suppressed carrier means you have to not send the carrier at the transmitter sections, then you have to generate the carrier at the receiver and it will be costly. So only point to point communications we can use the DSB plus C. Sorry, DSB SC. But now what will happen DSB plus C if you not want to generate the carrier, so you have to transmit your carrier with the modulated signals, and when you transmit carrier with the modulated signals, what will happen? Carrier with the modulated signals, so there may be also processing, and when we remove or at present everyone have to extract that particular signal. So that is basically selectivity. So RF amplifier has a good selectivity in particular using the radio frequency communication. So this is the way before starting or before passing our signals to the IF amplifier, we have put the RF amplifier, and it will provide us the better selectivity, means it will remove the image of our signals. If there is any image of our signal, it can be removed by RF amplifier, and in this way we can remove the image rejections. So that is the basic process in which we are working. So we will understand the super heterodyne receiver and amplitude modulation. So, okay, thank you.